Thank you for staying with us on the news this hour. The Oyo State government has announced its intention to recruit a total of 7,000 teachers into public primary schools. The chairman of the Oyo State Universal Basic Education Board, Aderemi Adeniran, made the announcement during a press briefing in Ibadan, Oyo State. He has appealed to intending applicants not to fall victim of fraudulent people and be wary of those who may use that opportunity to extort them.
Your guess is as good as mine. Those that could do that, even when the approval has not been given, now knowing that the approval has been given, may want to utilize the opportunity to scam the suspecting members of the public that are intending applicants for this particular exercise. So I am coming out on behalf of the Oyo State Universal Basic Education Board to say that the approval has been given, and we are already commencing the preliminary work on the stages.
Now let's turn our attention to Benue State, where the College of Education, Katsina, is planning to launch a Center for Entrepreneurship Development to train manpower and oversee other components of the institution in order to increase revenue. The CEFTED will focus on developing manpower and entrepreneurship skills through specialized programs that differ from the regular courses offered by the college. These programs will also be aligned with the National Commission for Colleges of Education minimum standard to ensure quality education. Provost of the college, Maurice Tekiova, highlighted the impact his management has had on the college community and announced the approval of a new directorate called the Center for Entrepreneurship Development. The provost also emphasized the need for the college to explore additional revenue streams due to financial challenges and limited funding from the government.
We are just trying to experiment at a little level, but as time goes on, we have a blueprint which will involve putting in place that activating a center that will coordinate all these things to ensure that we harness the revenue that comes from the sources.
This school, by merely existing, will help sustain the departments that I mentioned here earlier, which are one, Home Economics Department, Early Child Care Education Department, and Primary Education Department.
It was only when the acting provost of the college, in person of Dr. Maurice Chokewe, came on board that he revived the school. As you can see, the new structures we are standing in now. So this is all to his tribute.
Back here in Lagos, young tech developers have been encouraged to focus on creating human-based ICT solutions capable of solving the socio-economic problems of the country. This was stated at this year's Changemakers Hackathon organized by the Universal Service Provision Fund in Lagos. TVC News' Miriam Daniels has more.
The Changemakers Hackathon is an annual program of the Universal Service Provision Fund. The secretary of the organization, Mr. Yomi Arowo-Shafe, in an interview with TVC News, said the program is targeted at ensuring adequate reach of technology and telecoms services for businesses and institutions in rural areas by discovering, developing, and funding tech startups.
Going by the application services, encouraging the application services, we have picked that from the Act to see how we can promote the startups, the young ones, by form of doing a changemaker context, which is in form of a hackathon.
He says the initiative is driven by what he described as the digital economy strategic blueprint of knowledge and innovation, aimed to increase the participation of local talents in the digital technology sector.
I gave a mandate to USPF to promote the widespread availability and usage of network services and application services.
Some of the tech solutions created by the young participants cover healthcare, security, agriculture, education, healthcare, and more.
Cybercrime is a mobile-based platform that captures and shares security incidents within a specified location in real time for swift response law enforcement agencies.
So Blue Sand STEM Labs will help to encourage more girls because we have inclusive programs for girls that will encourage them to join Blue Sand STEM Labs solution.
Our platform takes up a lot of information about how well you learn, what your strengths and weaknesses are, to curate and generate e-learning courses.
For this year's edition of the Changemakers Hackathon, 28 participants attended, 8 of them were women. 10 of the best teams were selected across various regions of the state. 3 of the top teams will be rewarded with cash prizes, mentorship, incubation, partnerships, and investment opportunities. Well, from here, it's best wishes to all the contestants as we hope they continue to create technologies with a human face, enough to solve the country's humongous challenges across various sectors. Miriam Daniels, TVC News, Lagos.
And in Imo State, the police command has confirmed that 6 persons died on Saturday night in an accident at the busy Imo State University Junction in Owerri. Confirming the incident to TVC News, the command's public relations officer, Henry Okoye, said several others were seriously injured and are currently getting medical attention in several hospitals within the state. Some eyewitnesses at the scene of the accident said the brake of a truck loaded with cheapens failed and it swerved to the opposite lane and rammed into 5 shuttle buses loaded with passengers.
We were outside receiving the fresh air because there was no light. So all of a sudden, we just had a big sound, a Mack loaded with cheapens cross our own lane, which is now 1 lane, and then hit some vehicles, some keke buses, about 4 of them, broke the wall of the Nifri Institute and came inside the compound and wedged itself there.
The driver of the vehicle is an inexperienced driver because he was in another lane. They said that the brake failed at Oji flyover. From that Oji flyover, he would have controlled the vehicle to Imo Girls, where is a just building, school building there. But instead of diverting to that place, he continued going straight. Instead of going to the straight, he reached the IMSU roundabout. He turned.
And to a bit of health now, psychiatrists in Nigeria are demanding an end to the decriminalization of individuals who attempt to commit suicide. Their position came to the fore at a session with lawmakers on the need to prioritize and implement the Mental Health Act. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
In January 2023, former President Muhammadu Buhari signed the National Mental Health and Substance Abuse Bill into law. The law replaces the outdated Lunacy Act of 1958. It provides for the enhancement and regulation of mental health and substance abuse services.
To the law establishing the Act.
This session, at the instance of the Committee on Special Health Care, is to feel the pulse of leading actors in the business of mental health and work out modalities for effective implementation of the Act. The committee calls for partnership in addressing mental health challenges and other related health cases.
Has the mental health fund established as required by the law? What are the modalities in place to ensure that mental health treatment is integrated and provided for every public health facilities in the country? All these posers or questions are directed to the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Services, Medical Director of Hospitals, Head of Department of Official Agencies responsible for the implementation of the Act, to tell Nigeria why the National Mental Health Act is not being implemented.
The Association of Psychiatrists in Nigeria wants a review of the Criminal and Penal Code, which still decriminalize suicide attempts. It calls for the implementation of the Mental Health Act.
Primary health care may not necessarily be ideal, but a community-based primary health rehabilitation centers will be the appropriate thing. Lagos State has started. I think they have a big center established. Establishing them in the primary health care where adequate human and material resources are lacking will not be appropriate. APN will recommend that we follow the Mental Health Act prescription of making it community-based. Trained staff at the primary health care center can then refer identified clients.
The House Committee on Special Health Care is one of the new committees created by the 10th House of Representatives. Its goal is to provide the requisite legislative framework for improved healthcare delivery in Nigeria. Jokeyadsa, TVC News, Abuja.
And that's it on TVC News at 1. For more updates on the stories we are monitoring, you can visit our website on www.tvcnews.tv. You can also follow us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and on X at TVC News NG. On YouTube, we are live at TVC News Nigeria. Thanks for watching.